Hello folks, welcome to the another module in our Hypermesh course. Today we will start with the linear static analysis. Our objective to perform the linear static analysis are very simple. Here in case of linear static analysis, we are interested in validating the components and assembly against the given target values. These target values are given by the design engineers, or if you are working for service company, then these target values are given by the clients. This target value can be in the form of stress or they can be in the form of displacement. For example, if I am performing the analysis of bumper, then my design team might give me the target that the stress in the bumper should not exceed the 250 megapascal or 195 megapascal. Or if I am validating my component against the displacement, then the design team might give me the target that displacement should not be greater than 2 mm or 0.5 mm. Like that only, in case of linear static analysis, we are going to validate our component or assembly against the target values. Next and very important objective to perform the linear static analysis is to check the possibility of non-linearity. Non-linearity is very vast topic and I am hoping to make another course on the non-linearity also. But remember that non-linearity includes three types of non-linearity: geometric non-linearity, material non-linearity, and contact type of non-linearity. Basically, non-linearity will consider the non-linear behavior of geometry, material and the contacts. Just to give you the overview, if the stresses in your component are unrealistic, that means in the bumper the stresses are showing to be 1500 megapascal or 2000 megapascal, then these stresses are unrealistic. You know for sure that these stresses would never occur in the component. Then you might have to consider that your analysis is not linear one, but it is a non-linear one. So to check the possibility of that non-linearity, we are going to first go with the linear static analysis. And last objective is to check whether the FE model is built properly or not. Now you must remember that this last objective is a strong point of model analysis. But sometimes it might happen that for some reason you are not able to perform the model analysis. In that case you can go for the linear static analysis also. Now let us have a look into what exactly mean by the linear static analysis. In linear static analysis, the relation between load applied to the object and the response of the object is linear. Here, the load can be applied in terms of the force, moment, pressure or the torque, and the response of the object given by the software in the form of the displacement. But that relation between the load and the response is going to be linear one. For example, if I am considering the spring and I have applied the force on the spring, then the spring will basically get elongated. But when I can say the response is linear one, when the force applied is directly proportional to the displacement. Basically what I am trying to say, if I increase the value of force in the same proportion if the value of displacement is getting increased, that means that relation is linear one. In similar way, if I am considering the stress strain curve, within the stress strain curve also, if the value of strain is increasing in the same proportion if the value of stress is also increasing, then we can say the relation between the stress and the strain is linear one. As we know, this formula, which is stress is equal to Young's modulus times strain, is valid only within the elastic limit. So I can say within the elastic limit only the stress is directly proportional to strain. Now let me show you the same thing with the help of stress strain curve. Here I have the stress strain curve for the typical steel. If I create a curve having the slope equals to the Young's modulus, as you can see in the figure, then slope of this curve is nothing but the stress divided by the strain. As you can see, within the elastic limit I am not able to distinguish between the actual stress strain curve and the curve that I have applied. Now remember, this red line curve is the curve which linear static analysis or which the software is going to follow. Drawback of the linear static analysis is that if I am considering the any value of strain, for example let us consider this value of strain, then for this particular value of strain, if I am considering the stress strain curve, I will get the value of stress equal to something like this. But for the same thing, if I am considering the linear static analysis or this red line curve which software is going to follow, then for the same strain value, I will get the stress value equal to this one. As you can see, the linear static analysis will always give the higher value of stresses beyond the elastic limit. But if I am considering the elastic limit up till point A, then you can see I will get the correct values. So remember, linear static analysis is always performed within the elastic limit only. Beyond the elastic limit, linear static analysis will always give the higher value of stresses than actual. Let us have a look at some of the assumptions related to the linear static analysis. In case of linear static analysis, we are going to use the small deflection theory. Next, load and constraint will not change the value or the direction with respect to time. So if I am considering the change of force with respect to time, then it is going to be equal to 0. Or you can say dF upon dt is going to be 0. Next assumption that we are going to say is the material is elastic one. There are lots of type of material, for example hyperelastic, plastic, but in case of linear static analysis we are exclusively considering material to be elastic one. And in LSA we are not going to consider any type of damping to be present in the components.